All right, well, it's here, delivered right to my front porch. This is the Coleman CT100U mini bike. It is a lot of fun for a small price. It is a small framed mini bike, so it's not one of the bigger ones. They have the 200 series that is more made for adults, but this one is good for, it says 13 and over and up to 150 pounds, but I've seen many videos of people 200 plus riding these things around. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing out of the box and start assembling it so we can see how well this thing works. So once you take the big cardboard cover off of this, you're gonna find this wrapped in plastic looking just like this. There were a few pieces of cardboard that I put in here that were, in here to keep this thing from rattling around, I'm sure, inside the box. But basically it's put together. Looks like I gotta put the front forks on with the handlebars and the front wheel, but I think most of the rest of it's put together. So here is some video of it now off of the cardboard platform that it was sitting on and the plastic removed off of it. The main unit here is pretty much all put together except for, it looks like a chain cover there that goes over the clutch. It comes with a little, I guess that's a little tool set. And it comes with the front axle, which is that big bolt, the manual with some extra bolts, the front fender, and the tire. So you're mostly assembling just this front fork system for the bike. There are a bunch of little things on here that says, hey, it's shipped without oil. Make sure you put engine oil. Don't crank it without oil. They say it over and over. I do like the fact that they have the VIN actually stamped all over the place, and they have a little VIN plate on the back. That's pretty cool. Big comfy seat. Looks like the seat will handle a decent sized butt on the bike. It's a short statured bike. I already know I had actually sat on one of these before, so I knew it was a smaller framed bike, and that was fine with me. You'll look like you're riding a circus bike, but that's fine. I do plan on buying one of the bigger frame bikes also though. But that is pretty much how it comes when it needs assembly, so you can see what you have to do to assemble it. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting it together. I'm sure the manual has good instructions on how to put this thing together, so I'm not gonna go through every one of these little pieces on how to put it together. Read the manual and figure that part out. If you're getting one of these, you probably need to know how to do the basic mechanic work like that on it anyway. So that package of booklets that's in with the bike definitely has an install instructions. I've flipped through that already. It's a very good manual in good English. You can understand it. You should have no problems if you follow the instructions precisely putting this thing together. It's not that big of a book, and it's really not that much you have to do. It just may take me 20 minutes, I'm thinking. All right, so now that I have it fully assembled, let me give you some tips so that way it hopefully makes it easier for you. The first thing I recommend before even getting started putting this together is to find yourself some pieces of 2x4 or 4x4 or whatever, and cut yourself some little blocks to lift this thing up. So if you look at this, this was a 2x4 that I had chopped up. I put 4 pieces on each side. So what that allowed me to do is, in the beginning, when I needed to install the front fork and I needed to put the fender on and the tire and everything else, I was able to put these blocks right up underneath here, and it suspended this whole bike up high enough where I could put on the forks and the fender and the tire and everything without having to suspend the bike up by hand. That right there held it up no problem. Then when I needed to shift to the back brake caliper, I was able to just move the bike like you see here with the blocks below it further to the back. It lifted that rear tire off the ground, and it let me easily work on that brake caliper and get it adjusted properly. So if you have a few pieces of wood that you can chop up to make yourself some blocks, that will help tremendously when trying to get this thing assembled. It's easily a one-person job. You don't need another person in here to help you do it. You just need to have the right tools to get it put together properly. So the book is pretty decent. You start out by checking to see if you have your parts. Do this step. I was missing this 10mm lock nut, which is for the steering wheel, and I had to run to Home Depot and buy that nut there. Luckily, there was nothing major missing, and I was able to easily find that nut. That's all that I was missing, but check this first to make sure you know you have all your parts before you ever even try to get started and do something wrong. Once I had the nut, the fork installation was fine. The front fender installation, again, fine. Front wheel installation, fine. All of those were easy. Securing the cables, again, it was pretty easy. Just make sure your cables are routed properly and they're nowhere where they can bind and that your steering wheel will move back and forth. That was fine. get to oil and fuel. That's what I'm doing now. I haven't put that in there, but again, that's fine. Tire pressure's fine. Chain tension even came fine. But when you got to the brake adjustment, the brakes, at least on mine, are all out of whack. So expect to completely redo the brake adjustment. And if you follow these instructions, this right here makes no sense. All of it's clear except 5 and 4 don't even point to the right thing. The only adjustments you need to do is this Allen key bolt and this Allen key bolt. And let me show you on the caliber what that looks like. So if you look at this rotor, it needs to be nice and straight, and you need to be able to pick this thing up by hand and move it pretty freely. There's going to be a little bit of grab because of the chain, but this should turn pretty freely. This rear wheel was practically locked up when I got mine, and it's because this brake adjustment was way off. Everything, I mean, this whole rotor was kind of like bent a little bit because of how this brake caliper was put on. Now, there's 2 screws or bolts, this one here and this one here, and they both take an Allen key style key to go in there and adjust them. What these 2 things do is they move the back side of the brake pad and the front side of the brake pad, so they literally adjust this entire caliber back and forth. All I had to do was adjust these 2 to make it where when you look down this rotor, you can see a very thin gap. You probably can't see it in the video. I don't even know why I'm doing it. But you want to make sure you can see a little bit of space behind the back brake pad and the front brake pad, which means they're not touching the rotor. They're just lightly off the rotor, and then you can spin this freely. Now, of course, you don't want them too far off, and they won't be, you know, unless you have a ton of play in this cable, where when you squeeze the handle that they don't stop you. But I have it set right now where if you just barely squeeze that handle, they grab and it stops with no problem. But when that's off, the wheel spins freely. That's very important, because if this thing is binding up, even if you can give it gas and it'll go, you're wearing out your clutch, you're using way too much fuel, you're burning up these discs, and you're burning up this rotor. You'll be very low on power, and you'll just probably not be happy with the machine. So if you have this adjusted properly and this rear wheel spins freely, you should get all the power you need out of this thing and be able to get top performance. It comes with all the tools you need to tighten it down, except for the Allen key to adjust the rear brake caliper. So when you go to adjust that, you're going to have a set of Allen keys if it's not already adjusted out of the box. Again, mine was not. It was way off. So, but the chains tensioned fine, the cables were run fine, everything else was done with no problem. I was able to just bolt it up, put it together, and here we are. So now I'm fixing to put oil and fuel and crank this thing up. Here's another tip. So if you don't have a funnel, which I sadly have tons of funnels, but I never seem to have them when I need them. I even have one of those hoses that attaches to the top of an oil container and lets you squirt the oil in. None of them are here with me right now. So one easy way to do this is if you have an empty water bottle, like one of these little disposable ones you see down here, you pour your oil in that first. That lets you get into that spot here in front of the motor and pour the oil in easy enough to see it and make sure that it's nice and level. So that's just one tip. If you don't have a funnel, just use yourself a little water bottle like that and fill it up. All right, so here's a sticker on the back fender that says, "Do not return to store. Call Coleman Powersports for any problems." So if you have an issue with this, there's who you need to call. All right, so now that it's all put together, we're gonna go give it a test drive. It's gassed up, it's got oil and gas in it. Didn't take much to get it cranked. Just put some gas in it, pull it a couple times, it fired right up. You gotta make sure you have it set to start on here though, not the kill switch on. I just cruised it through the neighborhood a little bit, and the max speed, I actually hit 20 miles per hour exactly. That was my top speed. Most of the time my max speed was 19 miles an hour, but there was one part, probably downhill, but anyways, it hit 20 miles per hour. So I got down here and I tried to unscrew this throttle screw and it wouldn't turn, and it just started stripping, and I was wondering why. So I looked at it closer. Look at that. They welded that screw in there. They do not want you to adjust that throttle screw at all. So here's my disclaimer. Don't do as I do. You should listen to the manufacturer. But I'm fixing to cut that screw off. I have looked at how wide the carburetor comes open when you turn the throttle, and it's pretty much coming all the way open. I did bend the screw back just a little bit to get it where that carburetor was completely opening with the throttle, but it doesn't seem to really give me much more speed. So it does look like stock, just the way this thing is shipped to you, it's got a 20-mile-an-hour top speed. Well, I hope this assembly and review video was helpful, and if it was, please give me a thumbs up. That lets me know you liked the video. I really appreciate that. This is a whole lot of fun for a pretty cheap amount, but just stay safe. Wear helmets, knee pads, elbow pads, you know, wrap yourself with bubble wrap, whatever you got to do. Just be safe out there, y'all. Take care.